I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
The
More.
You
No.
Podcast.
Today I want to discuss Dean Graziosi's 10 happiness habits that are discussed in his book Millionaire Success Habits. About a year ago, I began to implement these happiness habits, and they've made a tremendous impact on my life. And with this being said, I encourage you all to get yourself a copy of Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graziosi, and you can do so at no cost, only paying for the shipping and handling on his website. So I now want to go over the 10 happiness habits, starting with the first habit, being to define what happiness looks and feels like to you. And with this happiness habit, you should always be envisioning what a happy life would look like, ultimately taking inventory over your life so you can ensure that you're living a life that's filled with happiness. And if you aren't happy with your life currently, here you can create a list of what would make you happy, and then from there create goals and tasks to go through the process of making that life happen. And now, while making this change does include goals, don't forget that happiness and goals aren't the same. Your happiness should be aside from your financial goals and your business goals and other personal goals. The second happiness habit is to make the present your friend. And the point of this habit is to embrace presence and focus on being present as much as possible in life and work to be more present in life. By embracing presence in your life and becoming more present, you will be able to enjoy things much more and find happiness in life much easier. The third happiness habit is to stop overthinking, and this is something I've personally struggled with most of my life. At the end of the day, analysis by paralysis and overthinking will kill any pursuit. So what needs to be done is you need to obtain enough knowledge and skill to be confident, but then from there don't get bogged down by analysis and second thoughts. We now reach the fourth happiness habit, which is to focus on a positive outcome. Your energy goes in whatever direction you aim it. And by habitually focusing on positive outcomes, you're ingraining that positivity in your subconscious. And by doing so, you'll be naturally more positive and happy in life. And also something that's tied to focusing on positive outcomes is the belief that life is happening for you, not to you, which I've discussed multiple times on the podcast. We now reach the fifth habit, which is to let go of specific outcomes. At the end of the day, you can only control your actions and your internal dialogue, and a lot of things that happen in life are out of your control. And so with that being said, understand you can control how you act as well as how you think, but most everything else is out of your control, so there's no reason to worry about it. We now reach the sixth habit, which is not being afraid to fail. Failure is something that must be embraced, because no one's perfect and everybody makes mistakes and everybody will go through failure. And as discussed previously on the podcast with people like Abraham Lincoln, you can face failure way more often than you do success, but that's not what matters. So by embracing failure, you no longer feel down when something doesn't go your way, and rather feel empowered. And you feel empowered because you understand that embracing failure is a necessary part of success, and because you're trying to craft a life of significance that surrounds success, there's nothing wrong with failing on a daily basis as long as you're learning from it and getting better. The seventh happiness habit is to let go of grudges. As hard as it sounds, you need to try as hard as you can not to take things personally in life. It's understandable for things to hurt you and to be emotionally damaged by things temporarily, but you must learn to let go of all grudges. And I think out of all the happiness habits, this is probably the most difficult one to accomplish, and I've struggled with holding grudges in the past as well. But with embracing failure and understanding that a lot of life is out of your control, as well as focusing on having a positive outcome surrounding your life, it allows letting go of grudges that you hold to be much easier, and much easier to look at who you once held a grudge towards in a more positive light, being grateful for their presence in your life. And when you let go of grudges, what you're ultimately doing is allowing yourself to be more present, and therefore the best you possibly can. You aren't allowing the past or other people to hold you back. The eighth happiness habit is to be grateful for what's in front of you. And this is similar to focusing on positive outcomes, where you look at your life with gratitude, being thankful for what you have in your life and existence as a whole. I've discussed in the podcast in the past as well that gratitude and appreciation are crucial, and the essence of both is being able to be grateful for what's in front of you. Gratitude is the cornerstone of happiness, and if you're consciously aware of expressing gratitude in your life, You'll become more present, positive, and happy. The ninth happiness habit is to not settle for good enough. And this is because when you settle for just okay, you lose out on a lot of the joy that life has to offer. And when you're settling, what you're doing is you're ultimately allowing your subconscious to ruin your chances for happiness, as well as potential joy and fulfillment. So by never settling and always searching for more, you enable yourself to craft a life of significance that's filled with joy and fulfillment. And the 10th and final happiness habit is to be a part of something bigger. And this is something I've discussed on the podcast in the past as well, but it's crucial to find your purpose in life. Having a higher purpose that motivates you enables happiness because what you're doing is you're serving the world and making a difference. Ultimately, most people are searching for something bigger in life, and they don't take on the ninth happiness habit of never settling. And by being purpose and values-based, focusing on some sort of higher purpose, you're enabling yourself to craft a life that's filled with fulfillment and joy, surrounding creating a life of significance that has to do with that higher purpose. Implementing Dean Graziosi's 10 happiness habits in your life will no doubt improve your life and make you more happy. It did for me, and I know it will for you too. And along with that, these habits not only make you happy, but assist in crafting a life of significance.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
A more
You
no
podcast.